my name is Bill Gibson. I'm the current president of the Jasper Optimist Club for 2011-2012. It's my distinct pleasure to welcome each of you to our 22nd edition of our Star Student Banquet. We are one of the only clubs in Georgia.
I was also an airline pilot for a long time too, so you think I would know how to talk on a plane. Anyway, it is my distinct pleasure. I think probably most of you heard my initial remarks. When I was a kid, I had a nickname at a camp I went to up in Maine, and I was called Wind Tunnel for obvious reasons. So anyway, you should be able to hear what I'm saying. But this is our 22nd edition of putting on this Star Student Banquet, and we are delighted that you're all here tonight, that we have the opportunity to honor these bright young people that we have with us. We also have an addition to our normal program tonight, in that we have an additional award, a Star Student Award to give, but it's from a different school other than Pickens High School. And it is from the Pickens Mountain Education. For the first time that we can ever remember, we have a Star student from Pickens who is qualified and going on to college, and she and her Star teacher will get a certificate and get an opportunity to say something just like everybody else will.
For this achievement, you will all receive scholarships from the Jasper Optimist Club, sponsoring this dinner tonight. Did you ever wonder where that money comes from, for those scholarships? The Optimist Club spends all year long raising money for various fundraisers in order to accomplish the goal of sponsoring all of you for these scholarships and for the dinner tonight. We do lots of fun stuff. We have a golf tournament. We sell lots of pecans during the holidays. You all bought some of those pecans. We appreciate that. Sponsor the 5K run down Main Street. And a bunch of other fundraisers. But our main focus will be on this thing tonight. Now, each of those events requires many volunteers in order for the events to be successful. 3 weeks ago, we lost our best volunteer in the Optimist Club. 3 weeks ago tonight, we lost Jerry Appleton. It's going to be hard to replace him. He was a consummate volunteer. Never shied away from a tough job. He was always there, never missed an event. And through all that, he had a huge smile on his face the whole time. It kind of makes you wonder what kind of life this man led. Jerry grew up in Nashville, Tennessee, and he struggled with dyslexia back in the 1950s. He was undiagnosed. Didn't even know about dyslexia back then. He struggled as a student. In fact, his high school principal said, "Jerry, you're a no account. You're going to never amount to anything." But in spite of those setbacks, and he even said to his wife, Sue, "I'm going to show that principal." He worked his way through Vanderbilt University, graduated with honors in electrical engineering. Not an easy road. But then he went off to work, and he became a very successful sales manager for a small technology company called Hewlett Packard, which was small back in those days. In fact, all of you have probably used one of Jerry's computers or his printer at some point in your life. He was very successful in that job. He left Hewlett Packard with a very generous retirement plan, a plan that could have allowed him and his wife Sue to tour the world many times over with his trip. But his main passion was serving others. In addition to all the jobs he did for us at the Optimist Club, he volunteered to drive the golf cart over to Mountainside Hospital. He also volunteered to maintain that golf cart. He's kind of ornery sometimes, especially in cold weather. He fixed that. He was the maintenance chairman for his homeowners association and was very involved in the first foundation providing books for young, underprivileged children. We have to dedicate tonight to the memory of Jerry Appleton. And as we celebrate our Star students, I I'd like to ask all of us to honor Jerry's legacy, especially you students, as you move on to your next stage of life. Do three things for me. Number one, do not let other people stop your dreams. Number two, don't let your success change your passions. Continue to follow those. And number three, share your life by serving others, especially those in need. Thank you, Jerry Appleton, for your service, for your optimism, and for the example that you give us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave, for those appropriate words for our friend. This time I want to extend some special thanks. This is a pretty big undertaking, and you can't do it without a lot of help. There's a lot of members that put a lot of effort into this, and I'd like to at this time recognize them. We have sort of an informal committee, and this time I want to ask if they would stand when I call their name out. Sue Appleton. Sue coordinates with Chattahoochee College, and she coordinates with the Woodbridge, and decorations on the tables are stored in Sue's basement, and from what I understand, it's probably the most organized basement or shop around. So we appreciate everything that Sue has done. She sends email reminders out, and we couldn't do this without her help. Tom Eubanks. Tom is a former governor. The programs that you have on your table were prepared by Tom. He's done that. I think every year except 1 year when his wife was sick, and I tried to do them that year. And believe me, they weren't the quality they are now. So thank you, Tom, and for the other things that you do. Rodney Buckingham was our reservation coordinator. Appreciate what Rodney has done. And Mill Wilson put together the article that you, hopefully you saw in progress. If you didn't, we have them over here on the wall. And while we're mentioning the progress, I want to thank them. It's fortunate that we live in a small community where the paper gives us so much support. And everything we send to them, they'll put in there. And there's other people that helped us set up last night. And I appreciate everything that those folks did. If you would, give these people a round of applause. A couple other people I'd like to mention. Bill mentioned the Beta Club. We really appreciate them. Years ago, Kay Chastain in high school said, I think the Beta Club needs to come and serve at these banquets. She says, I think they need to see what the Star Banquet's all about. So this has been a tradition probably for 18 of those 22 years that we've been doing this. And we could not do it without the Beta Club. The sponsor is Ms. Christine Westbrook. Eddie, you would extend our appreciation to her for what she's done to get these students here. I think there's probably between 15 and 20. And not only are here tonight, they're here earlier in the day. Some of them helping set up, and some of them later on helping clean up. So we appreciate all they do. I mentioned progress, and then I'd also like to thank Wheeler Printing. They print our programs, and the color programs that you see are done by Wheeler Printing. And each of the STAR students and teachers should have a color program at their place setting. So we appreciate what Wheeler Printing and what they do for us. This time I'd like to call on Senator Gooch, if you would come up. He has a resolution for all our STAR students. He's going to read one of them and say a few words. We'll present them at the time we present the certificates.
Good evening, everyone. It's a great honor and privilege to be in Jasper this evening. And it's an honor to be your state senator representing the 51st District down in Atlanta alongside your great state representative, Rick Jaspers. But it's a bigger honor to be among such bright students. Some of the brightest in Georgia are right here in Pickens County. It's an honor for me to represent you down there and recognize each of you tonight with a resolution from the State Senate. And I'd like to read one of the resolutions for the STAR students that I'll be handing out in just a few minutes. And then I'll read a resolution for the STAR teachers as well. A resolution commending Reuben Burnley, Pickens High School's 2012 STAR student, and for other purposes. Whereas a proper quality education for the young people of this state is the single most important objective of the General Assembly. And whereas Reuben Burnley has shown by the example of his academic accomplishments that the pursuit and attainment of scholastic success are within the reach of the students in this state. And whereas this remarkable scholar has earned distinction through his superlative achievements at Pickens County High School, where he is a gifted student and has been selected as Pickens High School's 2012 Star Student. And whereas to be selected as a Star Student for a high school, a student must have obtained the highest score in one administration of the 3-part Scholastic Aptitude Test and be in the top 10% or top 10 students of his or her class. And whereas each school has one Star Student who in turn has the opportunity to choose a Star Teacher who has inspired and encouraged them throughout their high school career. And whereas Reuben chose as his Star Teacher, Pickens High School educator, Mr. Patrick Gallagher, who provided support and guidance throughout the years and encouraged Reuben to achieve his utmost potential. And whereas Reuben has personified the selfless dedication, mental agility, verbal adroitness, and personal maturity necessary for superlative academic performance. And whereas the state of Georgia looks with great anticipation toward the future of this bright and promising young citizen. Now therefore be it resolved by the Georgia Senate that the members of this body heartily commend Reuben Burnley's spectacular scholastic endeavors, recognize him for being Pickens High School's Star Student for 2012, and express their most sincere best wishes for continued academic success in the future. Be it further resolved that the Secretary of the Senate is authorized and directed to transmit an appropriate copy of this resolution to Mr. Reuben Burnley. Signed by the 51st District Senator, adopted in the Senate February 16, 2012. And for the Star Teacher, I'll read on behalf of the Senate and the Lieutenant Governor a similar resolution commending Mr. Patrick Gallagher, Pickens High School's 2012 Star Teacher, and for other purposes. Whereas a proper quality education for the young people of this state is the single most important objective of the General Assembly. And whereas Mr. Patrick Gallagher has been long recognized by the citizens of this state for the vital role that he has played in the teaching profession and his deep personal commitment to the education of the students of Georgia. And whereas Mr. Patrick Gallagher has earned distinction and numerous awards for teaching excellence as a result of his dedication to his students and his profession, and has been honored as Pickens County High School's 2012 Star Teacher, and whereas in recognition of his contributions to the education and welfare of the young children in this state, it is abundantly fitting and proper for this body to honor the extraordinary accomplishments and academic achievements of this outstanding individual. Now therefore be it resolved by the Senate that the members of this body commend heartily Mr. Patrick Gallagher, Pickens County High School's 2012 teacher, and express to him their most sincere best wishes for continued success in the future. Be it therefore further resolved that the Secretary of the State is authorized and directed to transmit an appropriate copy of this resolution to Mr. Patrick Gallagher, signed by the Senator Gooch of the 51st District, adopted in the Senate February 16, 2012. In closing, I'd just like to congratulate all the Star students and all the teachers for what you've done. It's been remarkable. You'll always remember one or two teachers that stand out in your life. I know I have. Each of us can think back to those school days, and you'll always remember that one person that made a difference in your life, other than your family, of course, and God. But I want to thank all the teachers in the room, in our cities, in our counties, in our state, in our nation. We really appreciate all you do, your educators, the administrators, and of course the Optimist Club for this honor. And I appreciate being here, and I look forward to meeting each of you as you come across the stage and get your certificate from the state senate. Thank you. Good night.
Now we'll get to the part of the program that we're all here for, is to recognize it's our privilege this year to not only recognize Pickens High School, but also to recognize our star student and teacher from Mountain Education Center High School. And this year, as you can tell, the student is based at the Jasper campus. We're proud that we can recognize her tonight. So I'll recognize our star student from Mountain Education Center High School, Miss Melody Ewing. Melody chose as her star teacher, Miss Gloria Wentworth. If you would just come stand together with your certificates and we'll get a picture with both of you. Go get one with the student.
With having to be amplified, I usually do well on my own. I'm honored to be chosen as our teacher. You know, graduating from Mountain Education is no easy task. Mountain Ed is a state accredited school under all the state rules and regulations of a regular day school, but it differs a great deal from that point on. When a student walks into the counselor's office, the counselor addresses the student's records. She sees what she needs and what she needs to graduate. After that, it's basically up to the student to run with it. The student has to decide to be there, to decide what classes to do and when, and decide how much to accomplish each night. Melody has done this and done it well. As a matter of fact, I'm surprised to hear that English was her hardest subject. She would complete one, sometimes two modules a night, and her essays were always very thoughtful and well done. Successful students at Mountain Ed are like Melody, good timing. They have learned that time control is life control, and they have consciously chosen to be in control of their life. They realize that the student can lead or be led, establish control or relinquish control, steer their own course or follow others. It's their choice. In the fall, Melody will be going to Kennesaw State University with scholarships in one hand and her great motivation in the other. Very proud of you, Melody. And the words of Dr. Seuss, oh, the places you'll go. Thank you.
Well, as they said before, my name is Melody, and I'm a senior at the Mountain Education Center Pickens site. First of all, I would like to thank the Optimist Club for putting together such a fine banquet and for giving me such an honor like this. I would also like to thank my grandparents who have pushed me to work my hardest. I did not want to be my star teacher is Ms. Whitworth, and she helped me with my most difficult subject, which is English. You know, she said before that there's a different style of learning, so it's kind of difficult to learn how to do that. And in the fall, she said I'll be going to JSC with major in nursing and to minor in English. Thank you.
Now we're going to recognize the 2012 star finalist students and teachers from Pickens High School. We'll call out the names in alphabetical order, so the student will come up and then the teacher, and then we'll present the certificates along with the resolution from Senator Gooch. Mr. David Allen, son of Jenny and Greg Allen, is our first star student finalist. Is his star teacher. get Damien to do a magic trick for us. Our next star finalist, Miss Chandler Cook, the daughter of Henry and Richie Cook, and she chose as her star teacher, Mrs. Lauren Bell. Our next star student finalist is Miss Erin Hancock, the daughter of Richie and Paula Hancock. She chose as her star teacher, Mr. Rodney Martin. Our next star student finalist is Mr. Jordan Hill, son of Alan and Debbie Hill. He chose as his star teacher, Miss Linda Wyman. Our next star student finalist is Mr. Harrison Creeple, son of David and Cheryl Creeple. And he chose as his star teacher, Ms. Sarah Lynn Marcus. Our next star student finalist is Miss Shannon Odell, daughter of Kent and Tammy Odell. She chose as her star teacher, Mr. Kevin Boyle. Our next star student finalist is Miss Brianna Russell, daughter of Brian and Kim Russell. She chose as her star teacher, Miss Lynn Cantor. Our next star student finalist, Miss Shirley Shaw, daughter of Sharon Sharp, and she chose as her star teacher, Mr. Kevin Jacobs. Found out tonight in talking to Mr. Jacobs that my brother and him coached together several years ago in Franklin County. I didn't even know that. The athletic one in our family. Our next star student finalist, Miss Brooke Smith, daughter of Hubert and Joyce Smith. She chose as her star teacher, Mrs. Jeff Cole. This time we want to recognize the Pickens High School 2012 star student, Mr. Reuben Burnley. Reuben is the son of Reuben Burnley Sr. and Sherry Twyman. Reuben chose as his star teacher, Mr. Patrick Gallagher. This time we'll hear responses first from star teacher Mr. Patrick Gallagher, and then from Reuben.
Well, good evening. I would like to thank the Operations Club and Pickens High School for the continuing support of the STAR program and celebrating the academic success of these amazing students. And I have to admit, it's a bit intimidating to stand here and know there's so many people in the room smarter than you are. But that's just the way it is. And I'm also certain that I speak for all my colleagues when I say how humbled and honored we are to be selected as STAR teachers. It is just amazing honor for us. Thank you. I want to thank Ben for this tremendous honor and acknowledge his family, because we know without their guidance and support and influence, Ben would not be the person he is today. When Ben first arrived at Pickens High School, I knew he was not the average high school freshman. He was unique, to say the least. He would sometimes garner some strange looks from his upperclassmen when they looked at him, and he would see things he would do. We know as high school teachers that high school can be a very limiting and intimidating place for students. You know how to survive. Don't be conspicuous. Obey the social hierarchy. Know where to stand at break, and know where not to sit in the lunchroom. But then there was Ben Burnley, an amazing young man who was willing to support Spirit Week by celebrating each day's theme and dressing up for it. He would sing, dance, rap when the spirit moved him. He admits he liked Michael Jackson. And he also provides leadership through demonstration, and he dares to be an academic success. How unique and wonderful for Ben. I wrote my answers to the question, how would I describe Ben? My answer was brilliance. It is directly to the point. It is not by accident, but such brilliance, we should understand it's exceptional. What we are witnessing tonight is the tail end of a much bigger picture. Brilliance is not a chance accident. It is driven by passion and design. I remember when Ben told me his goal was to attend a military academy. He talked about the difficult process, and Ben was certain he was willing to put in the time and effort and attempt to realize that dream. He developed a plan to continue his academic work, but also to be in the physical shape required for admission. So he decided to drop some weight, began a fitness routine, and joined a track team to help him achieve his goal. His times weren't spectacular at the beginning, but he stuck with it. I do remember the day he came and told me he found another benefit of going to the gym and working out, and I'm sure it had to do with motivation. The fact that there were girls on the treadmill next to him. And it often seems that the high school students can be very narcissistic. As the quote joke goes, how many high school students does it take to screw in the light bulb? Just one to hold the light bulb, while the rest of the world revolves around them. That is not Ben Burnley. Every morning, Ben would make the effort to say good morning to me. With such enthusiasm, it couldn't help but jumpstart my day. I think Ben lives by the 3-foot rule. If you're within 3 feet of Ben, he's going to engage you some way or another. And he will talk to you. And Ben is not by any stretch of the imagination average. I have so many memories of the time we spent with Ben in the classroom and during our many hours in band activities and also in music appreciation class, and we shared some of those. Brilliance means passion and enthusiasm. It means finding and prodding our curiosity and the wow factor. Ben's enthusiasm and passion is infectious. He gets that way by asking the why of everything. He becomes interested by asking questions and delighting in the answers. Those of us that have had him in class know he is not one to sit quietly and not contribute, sometimes more than he needs to. He is not unwilling to accept preconceived ideas but forces himself in a new situation. Closing, I would like to share a few thoughts with Ben. No one knows the story of your life and how it will go. No one else but you, the author. Never stop questioning. The future is waiting. Visualize it. See yourself performing the very things you dare to dream. Persist and open your arms to failure. It's how you progress and take it step by step. Let enthusiasm and curiosity envelop you, and you will, without a doubt, become the perfect person I have seen so clearly. Ben, you will never know how much this means to me, and thank you for the honor. I will be forever grateful. Thank you.
Good evening. We're gathered here tonight to recognize our hard work and dedication to academics and the teachers that influenced us on our path. I'm here tonight with my mother, father, brother, grandparents, great-grandmother, aunt, and uncle. Many people ask me, Ben, what are you going to do after high school? And every time they expect me to say a doctor or a lawyer or some other noble profession of the academically elite. Generally, when I tell them I planned on attending the Air Force Academy, they're almost disappointed. They think, why would someone as smart as you enlist in the military rather than learning an important civil skill? Or they assume I'm joining just to have my college tuition paid. These people can be more misguided. The United States Air Force Academy is a college that is of equal stature with West Point and is not the same as enlisting. Applicants to the Air Force Academy are required to be in great physical shape, to be academically gifted, and above all, to possess an infallible honor that will inspire other soldiers throughout the military. To gain acceptance to this prestigious school, you must pass an exhaustive physical, take a physical fitness test, and most importantly, secure nomination from your congressman. The nomination alone is a tremendous honor that very few people have attained. All of this, combined with a very tough academic review, makes the Air Force Academy one of the most selective universities in all the world. I don't want to attend this college to get a free ride. Instead, I want to attend because I've been raised to believe that no job could be more honorable than protecting America. I wish to use my mind and body to defend our nation because I believe that intelligence is a God-given gift, and I wish to use it to help my fellow citizen. Nothing I can do in my life will be more honorable than serving under our nation's flag and helping to protect our nation's virtues. But enough about me. Mr. Gallagher said it. I can talk about myself forever. It's time to talk about the most important person here. For those of you who don't know him, Patrick Gallagher Jr. is the current director of bands at West Forsyth High School and former long-term director of bands at PHS. He taught in the Pickens County school system for 17 years before going back to Forsyth, a county he has 16 years of previous experience in. I can't imagine going through my high school years without Mr. Gallagher being my band director. Many teachers have influenced my choices in life, but none as much as Mr. Gallagher. I remember coming into the band room in the morning and talking with him about current events, learning about the world from a teacher who did not need to spend his time talking to me. I can vividly recall him quoting famous novels and quizzing me on the quote's origins or teaching me new SAT words. But Mr. Gallagher did far more than teach me about scholastic studies. He taught me how to take pride in my school through teaching me the alma mater freshman year. He taught me to take pride in my country through his service with buglers across America, a group dedicated to honoring fallen soldiers. He taught me perseverance, compassion, and so many more valuable life skills that I can't list. It was so evident that Mr. Gallagher loved each and every member of the Pride of Pickens band. From attending my academic team matches to buying water jugs for members of the band that couldn't afford them, Mr. Gallagher epitomized the caring teacher. I'm sure he did countless more things that I'm unaware of because he never sought recognition for his kindness. He was not only my teacher, but he is instead a role model that I can only hope to emulate. Mr. Gallagher is a man who deserves the greatest honor in the world for his devotion to his students and community, but the best I could do was nominate him as my star teacher. I'd like to close with this. Proverbs 22:6, train a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he shall not depart from it. Thank you to everyone who trained me in the way I should go.
Speaker for the evening. Unfortunately, I'm in a peculiar situation where I suspect a large, possibly majority of you in this audience know more about the speaker than I do, and probably know some very good stories. Unfortunately, I was told that what happened in the past should stay in the past. So we'll start with 1980. Our speaker became an assistant county agent in that year and started his career across a good part of South Georgia. And he did have enough time while learning the ropes of county agents to seek out and marry the wife of, what is it, 29, 30 years? 30. Boy, to put you on the spot. He and Marcia came to Pickens County almost 30 years ago. He served 29 years as a county agent in Pickens. And I love a statement in his biography that I'll quote you. He says his role was to teach, inform, and empower folks. I'm a witness to the fact that you've done all three, and I'm sure others are as well. He was a major part of the leadership team that made the Pickens 4-H organization in this county one of the nation's finest and was recognized as such. After retirement, Rick was encouraged to seek public office, the 12th district seat in the Georgia House of Representatives. He only had to go through 3 elections and, by his count, 23,000 miles to become the winner of those opportunities. He is now serving as our 12th district Georgia State House of Representatives. May I recall to the platform Rick Jaspers.
It's good to be in Jasper tonight. And when I drove up in Pickens County about 5 o'clock today from Atlanta today, I rolled my window down and I breathed the air. It was wonderful. And those of you know me, I'm an emotional guy. And I don't tell you, STAR students, never forget that air. Powerful. But think about it. I'm going to talk about my past here in a few minutes, and Tommy's going to ruin something I said. But think about that there. As you leave Pickens County, come back for moments, grasp it, because it's important. I thank Marcia, especially, for helping me all these years. It's real important. But thanks for letting me come to celebration. Let's get on with this. Your school, your community are so proud of you. Your selection of STAR students and STAR teachers. Ben, we're proud of you for attending the Air Force Academy. When Rita Burke sent me the list of what people had done, I got an email, and I was at the hotel where I stay a couple nights a week, and it surely was a relaxing read. After being in the Capitol, wrestling with people and fighting and trying to get your way and prevent other people from getting their way, it was very relaxing to listen to the positive things that you young people have done, the teachers, the impact that you've made on their lives. You're probably wondering what's up with the shoe. Well, my son, I talked about him today, is dead short man. Well, got to be short. I'll be a little long, but not really. But this still keep me on track, and I use it as a talk and to make a point. Because as we talk, I want you to think about a shoe as people that you walk with. just like our star students said, how do you get here? Who got you here? I'm going to tell you who got me there. And because a few years ago, I was part of a leadership class, many years ago, and part of the thing that they made us do, it's pretty neat to do if you've never done it, is to make a map of your life. Get a big roll of paper, and you start putting things down. And when you find that, just like we did in this class, you put one thing down, it leads to another, and then leads to another. You remember, oh, that bad thing. You remember that great thing. But it's fantastic. And it's in the barn and some of our stuff. I should have got it to show you, but it was very powerful to look at that map and see how your life kind of got where you were today. At the end of the class, you could very easily see how all the people, as our star students said, affect your life and make you, little bit by little bit, who you are today. Well, I use the shoe because you walk. You know, it's just one of those things that's with us always, except when we're at the beach. And it's kind of this whole thing that I'm trying to think of a way to tie this all together. Because a lot of people carry us and walk with us and walk beside us in life. And I'll tell you a few little stories about me that some people know and some don't know. But, you know, one of the things about a shoe in my life was the people that walked before me. I always talk about my dad. I try not to get upset and choke them when I talk about it, but we always had these people in our lives that paved the way. You know, and my dad was a high school dropout. You know, like a lot of people in the 40s were, guys that have each opportunity. He was working in a drugstore, putting up aspirin and all that kind of stuff. One day, this new pharmacist came to town, and the older guys remember me, Buick, 19, right there in the, right after World War II Buick, with chrome all over. My dad was stunned. He was speechless when he saw that car, because he's a car guy. And the pharmacist, this young guy just got out of the University of Georgia, said, hey, well, you can do this. It's possible. And my dad, high school dropout, Atlanta, Georgia, no, what? Couldn't see a pathway. And this guy took a piece of his life and invested in my dad, helped him get the GED, helped him get the Marine Corps, got the GI Bill. Back to that. When he came out of the Marines, that pharmacist took my dad to the University of Georgia. Not even the University of Georgia. Sent him money. Ooh. To help him get there. Just like you teachers have done with some of these kids. You kind of invested in it, as this guy did. Well, he did. My dad became a pharmacist and all that good stuff. But what he did, more importantly, is that pharmacist showed my dad that you've got to invest in people's lives. And throughout my life growing up, my dad invested in people's lives and set the standard for me to do the same thing also. Well, you know, other times represent people carry you. Think about the shoe, people carry you parts of your life. You know, Marcy let me tell this. I failed in 3rd grade. Really. And so at the beginning of the second time I was in 3rd grade, I was miserable. You know, embarrassed, as you can imagine. In the 60s, it was a terrible thing. My mother cried for days. But, you know, because a lot of my friends had moved on. It was pretty sad. But I was just in a situation where I've been prejudged, I thought. And I had a new teacher. Her name was Mrs. Holt. And I cannot tell you today what Mrs. did too long ago, too many things, except I knew she cared. And I can identify with that even today. It's one of the few teachers I can remember her name. It's the only teacher I still have her picture. Mrs. Holt carried me, as some of you teachers have carried people who are in this room and who are not. Carried folks. And it's pretty neat. Now, other moments, you need a swift kick. You know, I could have had a big cowboy boot here because, you know, when people walk with you, but sometimes they got to make you think about life. I had Miss St. Martin's. She was my 9th grade science teacher. She didn't like me. And it was mutual. By the end of the 9th grade, we had a meeting to select classes. Well, during that meeting, she used up all the bad she had saved up with me. In short, she said I was a failure. My attitude was surely land me out of school and in jail in a short time. And so that boot comes into effect for some of you young people that years later, when I was at the University of Georgia studying organic chemistry, guess who motivated me? They could have missed St. Martin. I was not going to fail. I was going to prove her wrong. And it was fun to do that. My dad told her, by the way, later on that I passed organic chemistry. And then sometimes people walk with you. And I had an unusual guy. In 7th grade, had a teacher, the first man teacher. In the 60s, there weren't a lot of men teachers. And Mr. Buchanan. And when I describe him, you can tell already this Rick needed this kind of guy. He taught self-respect, discipline, and he was a flat top haircut. You can imagine it was firm, it was loud, but he was very kind. And it was the first time in my life I'd ever seen him with all these different things. And you know, but his firmness is what I needed at that moment in my life. When I made the honor roll in the 7th grade, the whole auditorium. And Mr. Buchanan went, yes! It was just so loud, and I'll never forget that moment. But he had helped me. So you may have selected a teacher. It's probably been one of those things for you. It's taken you a lot of steps to get here. And I'll tell you, you got the responsibility now to do that, hopefully for someone else, and utilize it in a positive way. You know, you're going to walk with somebody. You'll carry a friend, I'm sure. You'll have to kick one of your friends, or maybe your kids, in the pants to get them to do the right thing. Or maybe even walk beside them. But I hope you'll be on the lookout for opportunities to encourage others and inspire them. And I hope you always appreciate what people have done for you. The last thing I want to think about is for all of us, especially the STAR students, something just to think about. Can you name the last 3 MVPs in the Super Bowl? I can. Name the last 2 Grammy winners, Country Music Awards. I can. Can you name one of the World Series 2 years ago? Oh, I can't either. Or even, who was the class president of the freshman class 2 years ago? And I can't remember that either or know that. But I guarantee that 20 years from now, you're going to be able to recall a name just like I did tonight, who you selected as your STAR teacher. We are all so proud. Thank you for letting me be here tonight.
People, and it is our tradition here to award our speaker a little speaker's gift, and this game comes from Woodbridge Inn, and that's what used to do. And I guess there's still some of the ones that left over there that Joe made. I don't know whether this is one of them, but anyway, thank you very much for the work you do in representing us down in the state house. Thank you so much. I want to thank each and every one of you who came tonight to honor these young people and their teachers. It's always a great pleasure for the Optimist Club to put this on. This is, I think, my 8th banquet that I've done, and many of our members have done them far longer than that. I'd like to make a couple of observations about today's youth. We hear an awful lot of stuff about, oh, they're going to the dogs. You know, all they do is listen to loud music, and they never do a lick of work, and you can't get them to get out of bed. Well, I, for the last 3 years, have had a great job teaching a seminar in natural history over at North Georgia, and I do this once a semester, and I just finished my spring seminar yesterday. And every time I look at those young ROTC cadets, both girls and boys, I'm reminded of the fact that, no, we're not all going to the dogs. The country is in good hands. Then I come in here tonight, and get to talk to some of our star students and their teachers, and that just reinforces my impression of yesterday. You guys are the future. You're the future of Pickens County. You're the future of the state of Georgia. You're the future of the United States of America. Now, it is a tradition at each one of our Optimist meetings that we adjourn with the recitation of the Optimist Creed. It's printed on the back of your bulletin. If you'll please rise and recite it with me, I would appreciate that. Promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind, to talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person you meet, to make all your friends feel that there's something in them, to look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true, to think only of the best, to work only for the best, and to expect only the best, to be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own, to forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future, to wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every living creature you meet a smile, to give so much time to the improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others, to be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and too happy to permit the presence of trouble. We are adjourned. Thank you.